Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a good week. Tonight, I thought we would play with the Wonderful Moments stamp set. I have a friend who just became a grandma again, and I was looking for a stamp set to use to make a congratulations card. I thought about Wonderful Moments. It has this image of an expectant mother, so it would be great for someone who just found out they're expecting. But I think I found a way that we can turn this into a grandma congratulations card, and that's what we're going to do tonight. This is a photopolymer set, and as you can see from the images, they're not solid. They are outline images. Because of that, we'll get to use our Stampin' Blends. And you know me, I love my blends. And this is our color palette. Isn't that a pretty, pretty color palette? We're using Daffodil Delight, light and dark, Petal Pink, light and dark, Pool Party, light and dark, some Smoky Slate, Crumb Cake, light and dark, Ivory, and Old Olive, light and dark. So it's going to be a colorful card, but not too vivid. We'll keep it more on the pastel side. We're also going to be using a Pear Pizzazz card base and some of this beautiful floral frost or frosted floral DSP. I just love, love, love those leaves. Okay, so I'm going to move all this out of the way. Hopefully it doesn't end up on the floor. Put it up there. And let's bring in our Stamparatus. Because we're going to be doing scene building, the Stamparatus comes in really handy for that. I'm working on a piece of Very Vanilla, and it measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I've already mounted the first layer of my scene, but before I stamp, let's just talk about what I already have going on here. I took the frame from the Swirly Frames stamp set and stamped it in Tuxedo Black. I wanted to really kind of set this off, and I thought that would be a great way to do it. And to fill in some of the negative space or the blank space that we have going on, I also took just a background stamp from Artisan Textures and inked it up in balmy blue, stamped it off twice, and then just over here in the upper parts of the card, I stamped that just to give it a little more color. We're going to be using the figure of the lady who will be holding balloons. I know that's birthday, right? But I'm sneaking in, and I don't often do this, but this is a retired stamp of a teddy bear from the Bookcase Builder. I wanted a teddy bear because I thought that then would help make it more of a congratulations on the baby card. All right. The first thing we need to do is ink this up, so I'm going to bring out my Smoky Slate. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining. And I will just, whoops. Oh, don't you just love that? Always set your Stamparatus down. I don't think I can save that either, darn it. Well, we're going to make it work. I'll make that shadows or something. I'm going to show you how to make that work. And I also don't want to ink up the teddy bear because I am going to do my teddy bear in Crumb Cake. So as I mentioned, this is going to be color, color, color. Now let's see if I can save this. If not, I'll just turn it over and restamp the frame. No big deal. But let's see what I can do here. It happened around her hair, so I might get away with it, but I think I need a little more ink. This time I'm going to lay it down. Now let's try that again. No, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to save that. But luckily we have two sides of the paper. So let's just flip it over. No biggie. No need to cry over spilt milk here. I can always stamp that frame again when I'm done building my scene. And that way I can show you a little trick for laying it out evenly. Okay. And I just want to make sure that I get a good outline on this. Let's see how that did. Oh, that looks good. All right, so I'm done with her. Now let's work on the teddy bear. And for that, I'm going to bring in a crumb cake. And I know you can't see me inking this up, but it just won't fit if I try to lay it in sideways. It keeps hitting my light fixture. So here's our teddy bear. And the reason that I chose crumb cake is this is a solid image, so won't be using blends for this. And I wanted to make it look like a fuzzy brown bear. Give him one more inking. Just want to make sure I get a good image here. I thought about using the soft suede, but I decided that the crumb cake just looked better with the palette that I'm going with. All right, that's the beginning of our scene. Now, I'm going to remove this plate, and thank goodness our Stamparatus has two plates because I've already mounted the balloons and the congratulation on this plate. And I'll have to do a little bit of a gem, I think, on the balloons, but let's just see. Yep. And this is the nice thing about having photopolymer, because I want my balloons to be, I want her hand to be holding the balloons. The other nice thing about the photopolymer is once I get my hand placement down, and I think I still need to come over a little bit more, but because it's photopolymer and not as rigid as our rubber stamps, that means that I'll be able to bend it a little bit. Let me show you what I mean. Because remember, I'm going to have a frame around it, so I don't want my balloons to go up that high. So let me pull this over in camera focus and put something down here so you can see what I'm talking about. There, now you can see the balloons. But if I hold the center down, because that's where her hand is, and what I want to do is curve my balloons. And I can do the same with the tails a little bit. Just like that. So it looks like there's a breeze going on in the background, right? And for our balloons, again, because it is an outline image, we'll go back to our Smoky Slate. And press that down. Oh, that did really well. I love photopolymers because it's easy to line them up. And if you look, her hand is holding the balloons. So that came out really well. The last thing that I want to stamp on here is the congratulations. I'm not going to do a separate sentiment strip for this. I thought it would all work nicely on the same panel. And there's Pear Pizzazz in our DSP, so I thought that's what I would use for our sentiment color. And it fits right down here at the bottom. Just like that. I think that color looks really nice. Okay, so I'm glad I brought in the Swirly Frames. I'll peel off the balloon and the congratulations and put them where I don't lose them, because I want to show you how you can get things to line up. It is wobbly. It's not like our clear mount that have a little more structure to them. But really, all you have to do is just lay it down, just let it fall, and then wiggle it up with your fingers until you have it where you want it. And that way you'll get straight edges. You won't get the wonkiness that can happen sometimes. So let me just make sure I'm even down here and move my magnet to the bottom. I think I can stick it where my congratulations is and have it hold and still get a good image. Now, I didn't bring any black ink in with me, so should we go for the Smoky Slate? Let's go for the Smoky Slate. I guess I should probably close my plate so I can pick up the stamp there. There we go. And now let's ink it up. And again, I wouldn't even attempt, even if I had a block big enough, I wouldn't attempt to do this without my Stamparatus, just because if I don't get a perfect linear image, it would be just about impossible to try lining that up again. Okay, fingers crossed. And remember, we're going to be coloring in our images, so it's okay if the frame is the same color as what we've already stamped, because I actually think I like it better, come to think of it, in the Smoky Slate. But let's give it one more inking just to make sure. There's a little spot down here at the bottom. There we go. Perfect. All right, that's all the stamping I need to do. So we'll put our Stamparatus back over here. And now we get to work with our blends. Yay, my favorite part. All right. And it's really quick coloring with the blends. Bring them all back in again, because we are working with pretty small images. And let's see, I have to bring my color palette back in here because I want to start with the balloons. And for my balloons, light and dark pool party, petal pink, light and dark, and daffodil delight, light and dark. So as you can see, there's half of our colors right there. Oops, I picked up the ivory. Be sure you don't get ivory mixed up with your pinks, because it definitely has a pinkish hue to it. All right. And like I said, this should go really, really quickly. Oops, I want the brush end, Linda. It goes quickly if you use the brush end. There we go. And then I'm using the dark just to put some shadows in where they would normally be. Now let's do pink. I'll get the right end here. I love how soft this pink is. And again, just using the dark wherever there would be shadows. Let's finish up with the light, the Daffodil Delight on our outside balloon. And as you can see, it's going pretty darn quickly. And I think I'll blend that out a little bit more. So I'm just going over the edges there with the light again. Okay, now let's work with our ivory. All we're going to do with that is her hands, her arms and her hands and her legs. I really appreciate that Stampin' Up! Gave us this ivory or flesh tone color. You know what? I think I'm going to do the feet of my bear in that. And how about a yellow bow? So as you can see, this card would be appropriate whether the new baby is a boy or a girl. All right, for the hair, we're going to do some crumb cake. And this image makes it really easy to get some shading in, because you can take your darker crumb cake and simply go over the areas that are already highlighted or shadowed for you, I should say. Just like that. Super, super simple. Okay, let's finish up with the dress and shoes. And for that, I decided to go with Old Olive. I think it's a nice complement to the other greens. I'm just going to block in some color here. And while that's still wet, come back with my dark and just lay in a little bit of shading. Just where there would be shadows. Now I know that looks really, really dark right now. So we'll come back in with our light, just blend it out. Making sure to leave some of the area where it's just the light. Okay, now let's go on to the bottom part of the dress. I'm just quickly scrubbing in the color. Don't have to really think hard about it. And then we'll come in with our dark color. And just wherever there would be shadows, put that in and then blend it out. Really easy. All right, and we have shoes. I'm not going to worry about shading the shoes. They're a very small image, but that is our coloring. Other than I don't have the balmy blue in the background like I did on the other one, but no worries. You can come in with your, I have Smoky Slate light here, and just kind of fill in some shadows so that your figures don't look like they are floating in air. And even outline the very edges. And this is what really gives depth when you're using your blends. And I think I'll put a little bit over here as well. And I'm just being very loose. I'm not really worried about being exact. We just want to scrub in a little bit of shadow there, wherever would be appropriate. All right, I think I'm happy with that. What do you guys think? So we've used all of our colors there, and now we can put our card together. Now I chose Pear Pizzazz only because it's what I already had cut, because I knew that my DSP was going to completely cover up the front. So I could just as easily have used Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. Either of those would have worked well. And then we'll just slide this into place. Come on, slide. Ugh, don't stick. Boy, my glue is really sticking too quickly. Luckily, I should be able to peel it up here without too much damage. I think it's because I've got the heat on in the house. So it's pretty dry in here. That's all right. No harm done. There we go. Easy breezy. I'm just going to smooth that out. Make sure there are no bumps in it. And then I originally was just going to set it on there, but I thought I really wanted to give it a little bit more of a pop from the DSP. So a very thin layer of Mossy Meadow I thought would just do the trick. And let's see if I can get this on here without it sticking too quickly. That's better. And then I will pop that up on dimensionals to give it just a little more emphasis and some shadow behind it. So Amy, are you having a good day today? Liking this cooler weather? Well, don't stick to my fingers. There we go. All right. So we'll just drop that in right like that. And lastly, I thought it would be nice to add a little bit of embellishment. So I'm bringing in the Pearl Basic Jewels, and I thought I would pick a color from the color palette on the card and use that to color in the pearls. I could do one in each of the balloon colors. I really don't think I want any more Old Olive. That's pretty strong in there. So let's see. Why don't we take, yellow. Should we do, well, we've got quite a bit of yellow in there. Let's do the blue. Blue's always pretty. Or you know what? Let's just do one of each. What the heck? Why not? So I'll color a blue one, and I'm using the darker of the blends. And we'll do a yellow. And we'll do a pink. And that way, that still keeps it pretty gender neutral, since it has all the colors in it. All right. Hopefully they're dry. I'll start with the blue first, since that was the first one I did, and we'll do them. I want them up here. Do I want them all in a row, or do I want to scatter them? I could do them. We'll do them all in a row. So we'll go in the order that the balloons are. Come on. I love our spatula on the take your pick tool. Okay, so there you have it. A cute, cute congratulations card that can be sent to the mother. It can be sent to an aunt. It can be sent to grandma. How about a little Wink of Stella to finish it off? Need a little sparkle in those balloons, right? Just a little bit of sparkle. I'm dabbing off when I'm doing, going between the blue and the yellow, because the yellow, I noticed, bleeds a little bit, and I didn't want my balloon to turn green. Okay, well, that's it for tonight's card. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again on Saturday for another fun project, and we may head back into Christmas on Saturday. We'll just see. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and until Saturday, see you later.